From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Wednesday, September the 18th, 2019. There was still no clear winner in yesterday's election in Israel at the time of the taping of this broadcast, but with most of the votes counted, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's Likud party was lagging. And in a special address to the Knesset today, the Prime Minister said he is joining forces with fellow right-wing parties in order to form a larger bloc that he hopes will allow him to try and form the next government. With just over 90% of the ballots tallied, Netanyahu's Likud party is trailing Benny Gantz's Blue and White by 1 seat. The Central Elections Committee released results this afternoon showing Benny Gantz's Blue and White with 1 vote ahead of Likud at 32, Likud at 31, followed by the Joint Arab List at 13 seats, Avigdor Lieberman's Yisrael Beitenu at 9, Shas at 9, United Torah Judaism at 8, Yamina at 7, Labor Gesher at 6, and the Democratic camp at 5. The right-wing extremist party Otzma Yehudit, as predicted by all 3 exit polls last night, did not have enough votes to cross the electoral threshold. A final tally of all the votes may not be released before tomorrow. Netanyahu this afternoon announced that he was canceling his scheduled appearance at the United Nations General Assembly next week in order to deal with the aftermath of the election results. Israel's Foreign Minister Yisrael Katz will replace Netanyahu at the global gathering on September the 26th. Earlier today, Netanyahu met with leaders of Yamina, United Torah Judaism, and Shas, who agreed to go into coalition negotiations as a united bloc of 55 seats, though that still falls short of the required 61 needed to form a coalition. He later told the Knesset, "We decided unanimously that we're going forward together to negotiations that will establish a government led by me. Our coalition negotiations," Netanyahu said, "will be through a single shared representation." Netanyahu warned that it was either a government led by him or, quote, "a dangerous government that depends on the Arabs," unquote. Israel's Channel 12 reports that Netanyahu is hoping that Israel's President Reuven Rivlin will consider the so-called shared representation as a single party and task Netanyahu with forming the next government, as opposed to pressure from the center-left to form a unity government. Yisrael Beitenu party leader Avigdor Lieberman, meanwhile, this morning reiterated his call for a unity government that would include his party, Blue and White, and Likud. Lieberman said he would not consider a coalition with the Joint Arab List and wouldn't negotiate with any party unless it accepts his demands with regard to changing a number of policies in Israel that are currently under ultra-Orthodox regulations, like marriage. Blue and White's Benny Gantz spoke to the press this morning, saying he was waiting for the official results, but said, "I wish for the people of Israel a good unity government, that the political system will calm down a little bit and we can start moving." An analysis of the election results is coming up tonight at 7 o'clock with JBS President Mark Gallup, who leads a roundtable discussion with Touro Distinguished Professor Thane Rosenbaum, new editor of The Forward Jody Redorin, Lawfare Project board member Stephen Frank, and National Director Emeritus of the Anti-Defamation League, Abe Foxman. In other news, a Palestinian woman tried to carry out an attack on Israeli soldiers today. The woman was walking in the vehicle lane at the Kalandia checkpoint in the West Ridge, or West Bank, who raised suspicion among Israeli security forces who were guarding the checkpoint. Israel police told the Times of Israel security personnel who saw that she was approaching them performed the proper arrest procedures and called for her to stop. She did not respond to their calls and took out a knife. As a result of this, a shot was fired at her leg and she was injured. The woman was taken to Hadassah Hospital in Jerusalem, where she later died. The Women's March announced this week that 3 of their lead organizers have stepped down. Co-chairs Linda Sarsour, Tamika Mallory, and Bob Bland apparently left their positions back in July. The 3 have faced criticism, claiming they did not take a strong enough stand against anti-Semitism in their movement. 17 new board members have been appointed, among them Executive Director of the San Francisco Bay Area office of the Council on American Islamic Relations, attorney Zara Ballou, who has in the past compared IDF soldiers to ISIS and has accused Israel of being an apartheid state and of committing acts of terrorism. A university in Belgium is under fire for adding a new sign in Flemish Sign Language for Jew, a hooked nose. Israel's embassy in Belgium condemned the offensive gesture included in online videos on the website of the dictionary that was compiled together with the University of Ghent. Israel's ambassador to Belgium and Luxembourg, Emmanuel Nachshon, wrote on social media, "The Embassy of Israel expresses its shock and dismay following the ugly initiative, saying its sole purpose is the promotion of anti-Semitic stereotypes." The European Jewish Association echoed the condemnation and demanded the rector of the university remove the clips. The American Jewish Committee's Transatlantic Institute called the video appalling, tweeting, "A university should be a safe space for all communities. It boggles the mind how peddling blatantly anti-Jewish stereotypes can be part of the curriculum." Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Wednesday, September the 18th. As I mentioned earlier, a special roundtable discussion analyzing the results of yesterday's election in Israel, led by JBS President Mark S. Golub, will begin at 7 p.m. tonight. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with Nobel laureate Eric Kandel, who talks about leaving Austria during World War II and his life's work as a Nobel Prize-winning neuroscientist. At 10, Rabbi Jeffrey Middleman talks about the power of collective memory in both Jewish culture and Jewish history. And coming up right after this newscast, it's Thinking Out Loud with Micah Halpern. And that's the JBS News Update for Wednesday, September the 18th, 2019. I'm Teisha Bader.